Arts and science. How do these two go together? At first glance, art, as an interpretive, aesthetically motivated discipline, seems to be at odds with the precise analytical character of the natural sciences. In fact, however, the two fields are not separate, but they complement each other, each supporting the other's unique dance, which has been proven impressively by the exhibition Arts and Science, first shown in the summer of 2017 in Hamburg City Hall. Since then, the exhibition has traveled to various locations. What makes it so special is that it is not the scientific impact that counts, but, instead, the aesthetics. This picture, for example, is reminiscent of pop art, yet it presents calculations carried out to predict a scientific experiment. The tiny shapes, which look like footballs, are made of 60 carbon atoms, and each shape vibrates like a ball being squeezed and stretched. Other images are direct observations. This X-ray hologram, recorded at a magnification of 5,000 times, visualizes a plankton's microstructure. Arts and science emerged from a competition among members of the Cluster of Excellence, the Hamburg Centre for Ultrafast Imaging, or CUI for short. Scientists from the fields of physics, chemistry, molecular biology, and medicine come together in the research cluster to analyze the dynamics of atoms, molecules, and electrons. They try to observe and understand ultrafast processes occurring at the atomic level. They try to observe and understand ultrafast processes occurring at the atomic level in order to control them systematically one day. This image, for example, shows ultra-cold atoms in a gas, forming a matter wave. Here you can see a component of the analysis of the motion of ultra-cold atoms. The complex motional patterns are broken down into independent components of varying hierarchy. Advances in the natural sciences and physics and chemistry in particular are driven by human curiosity and the search for the fundamental principles that generate the complexity we observe in nature. In view of the wealth and the enormous diversity of natural structures and phenomena, it comes as a surprise that a few underlying principles might govern this huge range of organized structures. The success story of the modern natural sciences, however, demonstrates impressively that the idea of few principles is a most fruitful starting point for scientific progress. Images like this simulated false color visualization contain all the details of the shape and the internal structure of a nanostructure. Such information can be extracted in experiments using coherent, intense X-ray radiation. In addition to the scientific quest for knowledge, the natural sciences therefore also possess an impressive beauty. The cut in the underlying phase space, shown in this picture, demonstrates different types of classical motion, which are analyzed in theoretical physics. A phase space is the sum of all possible states in a dynamical system. Once we switch from the scientific meaning of an image to its aesthetical aspects, a whole new world appears. Although art and the natural sciences offer two different ways to understand our world, they can certainly influence one another. The overlap is a kind of wonder in itself, the desire to know and learn something, caused by something beautiful, remarkable, or unfamiliar. It is this feeling of amazement that leads us to ask deeper questions and investigate further. Visualizations, like this image of the curvature in a crystal, bring abstract physical principles to life and expand science's reach to a wider audience. The central objective of CUI is to observe and analyze fundamental dynamical processes, to understand the complex functionalities of matter, and ultimately, to be able to control them. QE scientists use X-rays whose wavelengths are more than 100 times shorter than those of visual light, as for example in this snapshot of an electron cloud. Such light pulses can be employed to investigate processes in nature where only a few thousand atoms are involved. Pictures may be taken in the course of research, for example during experiments, or they may be visualizations of computer simulations based on calculations and theoretical models. What they have in common is that they impress the observer with their geometry and design, as well as their stunning color compositions. Using light for research. A short flash of visible laser light induces a chemical reaction. The simulated false color image shows the subtle variations of the diffracted X-rays. Certain beams are used as pipelines and funnels of light to transport single biomolecules into the focus of an X-ray laser. Transport and transmission of electrons. The horizontal and vertical directions show how the electronic transmission varies according to the applied magnetic field and the energy. Standing waves of electrons in a cavity. The white arrows indicate the electronic currents. Short bursts of light cause the ions in a crystal to rotate. The funnel-shaped spirals symbolize the increasing radius of the ion's orbits. Molecular structures of proteins are discerned by a method called X-ray crystallography. This representation shows all X-ray reflections when a stream of tiny crystals is injected into the beam of an X-ray laser. Many thousands of patterns similar to this are combined to obtain a protein structure at the atomic level. Bacterial pathogens have developed sophisticated mechanisms to evade the immune system. This invasion protein interferes with transport processes which influence the body's immune response. Simulations far beyond freezing zero. Emergence of magnetic order in cold atoms. The red and blue triangles represent different magnetic states. Formation of structures in an ensemble of ultra-cold atoms. The atoms do not move independently, but the structure varies depending on their interaction. Atoms are sorted into an optical lattice, which is being shaken. The atoms move from site to site of the lattice as different quantum processes are triggered. A superfluid has a surprising feature. When an object is dragged through it, the object experiences no friction. Here, a laser beam is dragged through an atom cloud. Small particles in the microscope. This protein crystal was photographed in a light microscope using a polarizer. X-rays can be used to determine the structures of proteins. A golden ball recorded with a scanning electron microscope. The sphere consists of gold nanoparticles covered in a polystyrene shell, which is hydrophobic and favors interaction with itself. This causes the nanoparticles to collapse into a sphere. Transmission electron microscopes can visualize the self-assembly of nanoparticles into ordered structures. Cube-shaped magnetic iron oxide observed by transmission electron microscopy. The edges are 100 nanometers long. Looking through the scanning electron microscope, nanoparticles of homogeneous size and shape form highly ordered, self-assembled superstructures. The The structure and composition of nanomaterials can be investigated by transmission electron microscopy. The lead selenide core is colored in green. The shell of cadmium selenide appears in purple. Visualizations help to understand nature and techniques. The microscopic droplet of water is illuminated by an intense flash of light. Individual water molecules are represented by 3 balls connected by sticks. A visualization of the electron bunch profile and its synchronous radiation in a free electron laser. A high-quality X-ray pulse is being developed similar to a surfer on a slalom course who generates water waves at each turning point. Terahertz radiation accelerates photoelectrons. The electron burst contains important information on the temporal profile and the arrival time of the femtosecond X-ray pulse. Football-like fullerene molecules may become resistance-free at high temperatures when prompted by an intense laser flash. A light pulse transcends the surface of a liquid to control matter and the inherent wave properties at the molecular level by quantum mechanics. If we understand how the elementary particles of nature move, we may one day be able to control them systematically. Science enhances our bodily senses. It enables us to see microscopic worlds and solar systems, conceive of long-gone histories, and project into the future. It shapes our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. It influences our actions as well as our dreams and aspirations, and thus our art and design.